relationship between bullying and attachment in children. So, the first thing that I wanted to talk about was bullying because it's become a really big social problem in the world right now. It's getting a lot of attention from the administrators of schools, the teachers in the schools, policymakers, and psychologists like us. The topic is especially important to me because bullying is one of my biggest pet peeves. I was bullied at a point in my childhood, and I've witnessed many others get bullied as well. So it's just something that I like to speak on. So since bullying can have a large impact on the bullies and the victims as well, a lot of psychological research has been focused on the potential factors that could contribute to this type of behavior. So bullying is basically defined as an unwanted, aggressive behavior by another youth or group of youths who are not siblings or current dating partners that involves an observed power imbalance and is repeated multiple times or is highly likely to be repeated. Another important thing about bullying is that because of different forms of fear, it is historically underreported. Experts estimated that as many as 50% of bullied pupils reported not having told a teacher, parent, or peer about the bullying that they were experiencing in school. The second thing that I wanted to talk about was attachment. So basically, the attachment theory focuses on the infant's attachment to the mother during early developmental years. Basically, it's just saying that as infants, we all form attachment to our primary caregiver, which many times is the mother, but it can also be the father or whoever that child's guardian is. The quality of the infant's attachment to the mother during this time sets a precedent for how the child will attach to them and relate to people throughout their lifetime. So it can go on into their relationships and anything else that they deal with in their life. So parental style is another important part of this. It basically describes parental behavior as perceived by the child, and it has two main dimensions, and they are demandingness and responsiveness. So, demandingness would be an individual with controlling behavior who sets limits and expectations for the child, and responsiveness would be an individual who responds to their child's needs, is supportive, and maintains warm communication with the child. So, next will be all the different attachment styles. So the first attachment style that I'm talking about is secure attachment, and then there's insecure attachment, avoidant attachment, and anxious attachment. So secure attachment basically results when the primary caregiver exhibits emotional sensitivity toward the child and to the child's environment. Children who are able to regulate their intense feelings are more likely to be a child with secure attachment to their caregivers. Insecure attachment. These individuals have lower emotional regulation abilities and they tend to have maladaptive social information processing and poor social problem solving skills. So, with avoidant attachment, these are individuals who experienced a consistent lack of care from their primary attachment figure, which is usually earlier in the lifetime. They are uncomfortable with closeness, they find it difficult to depend on others, and they're distrustful. And with anxious attachment, these individuals tended to have the worst outcomes relative to securely or insecurely avoidant attached adolescents regarding self-concept, level of symptoms, and they are a high risk for problematic behaviors. These individuals are comfortable with closeness, but they are very concerned with abandonment or insufficient love. Abandonment is probably the main thing with anxious attachment. That's their biggest fear, being abandoned. So basically, parental behaviors that would lead to this form of attachment include demonstrating anger, demonstrating resentment, failing to meet the child's needs, persistent reprimanding, the parent appears to be ill-tempered, interfere with the child's activities, and intervening with physical force to reinforce verbal commands. Anxious attachment is kind of characterized by feelings of inadequacy. As I said before, very, very big fears of abandonment and rejection as well. So the first relationship that I was going to talk about was bullying and secure attachment. So individuals with secure attachment to their parents and peers are less likely to be bullies or be victims of bullying. And the research has found that middle school students who are likely to have a higher attachment security were less likely to be bullies than insecure individuals. And this was found in Murphy's study. Also, a secure attachment to the mother has been found to increase the likelihood that middle school age children would not only not be a bully or not be bullied, but they were more likely to defend a victim of bullying. And also, the study adds to previously reported results that having a responsive mother protects the child from being aggressive to others. So when it comes to bullying and insecure attachment, individuals who have this insecure parent attachment may be related to greater involvement in bullying for a few different reasons. Insecure individuals have lower emotional regulation abilities, they have maladaptive social information processing, they have poor problem solving skills, and these can all contribute to a greater likelihood for them to be involved in bullying, whether they are the bully, they're getting bullied, either one of those. A negative attachment, which is also referred to as insecure attachment between the parent and infant, is suggested to result in a poor self-concept or poor concept of others, which increases the risk of aggressive behaviors in the child, which is also going to be included as or referred to as bullying behaviors. So insecure attachment in the infancy can predict low frustration tolerance, a lack of help-seeking behaviors, and isolation, as well as aggression or impulsivity in later childhood. And these are a lot of the qualities that bullies have, or individuals who get bullied would have as well. An interesting finding that Murphy mentioned in his article was that researchers have also discovered that greater levels of paternal attachment anxiety and avoidance were associated with greater levels of relational aggression in an undergraduate sample. So, which makes sense because those levels of anxiety just cause more aggression, which could lead to an individual becoming a bully. So the last 2 pages are just my references. I used dissertations as well as peer-reviewed articles. So this is the first page and this is the second page of my sources.